Hi. The Steam machine has been hitting the streets hard. It's only been a couple of days since the not quite a console, not quite a PC announcement, and it's been the talk of Twitter and social media for a multitude of reasons. Lots of speculation on whether this is the Xbox killer or the Nintendo killer. But honestly, if you were to ask me about it personally, I would say that it's definitely an evolutionary step forward in home entertainment. According to Gematsu's article, much like the Steam Deck, the Steam machine runs their Linux-based Steam OS right out of the gate, keeping the power and flexibility of a PC while offering the clean and straightforward user interface, much like a console. It even maintains the same verification process as the Steam Deck to show compatibility with Steam's increasingly large library. But the difference is that it actually offers the same level of customization as the Steam Deck, with Valve clarifying that the Steam machine is optimized for gaming, but it's still your PC. Install your own apps or even another operating system. Who are we to tell you how to use your computer? In one statement, they have completely given license to customize your machine to your liking and to use emulation at your own risk, which is pretty freeing in this time period to be able to have full control over something you purchase. Now, of course, some people are taking this as a means to strike out against certain parties, mainly Nintendo, but considering Imudec's forced closure of Yuzu and other Switch-based emulation, I would heavily caution doing anything that would put you on the Nintendo plantation. And unlike some people, I also understand how diabolical it is to gas up people for reckless behavior while comfortably sitting in a position where I don't face direct consequences for it. But I digress. So, is this the machine to win over the console wars? What really is there left to win? Microsoft and Sony are still locked in a race to the bottom, but with fewer gains. They've ported segments of their own libraries to Steam already, while according to Windows Central, Xbox is already trying to establish its own Steam-like architecture for a flawless ecosystem. Personally, I hope with the low specs that were built from the survey data and reasonable level of consumer freedom and customization, the console will stay within the budget pricing of somewhere between $500 to $700. That seems to be the sweet spot that would keep it competitive. I've built two very powerful budget PCs within that price range, so from a consumer standpoint, that would make the most sense and would completely undermine the Xbox ROG Ally units while not undercutting or cannibalizing their own Steam Deck hardware. There's no legitimate reason to make a Steam machine a powerhouse either, because PC users who desire that are already being served with their own PC builds. Smart money would say this is clearly a move to get the entry-level PC gamer and people who are likely being priced out of the current console market, but who really knows how things are going to play out here. If they take the lessons learned with the initial launch of the Steam Deck and their eventual OLED upgrade pricing adjustment, they might actually be on par with the PC equivalent of what Nintendo is doing with the Switch and Switch 2. Both companies are gaming-centric and are definitely working without a net, as opposed to Microsoft and Sony being gaming divisions of a larger entertainment and software company. So both Nintendo and Steam are willing to take big risks in order to meet their consumers where they live. And ultimately, isn't that where gaming should be? If Steam succeeds in this endeavor, they might actually have enough juice and sway to push a unified middle ground of optimized games that we desperately need, which would be a welcome move in an industry of companies pushing out physical media in lieu of digital games while not lowering costs due to a newfound lack of overhead in manufacturing. Ideally, it would be fantastic to see someone actually attempt to rein in these bloated, unoptimized games and in turn possibly help lower costs across the board, but clearly, I'm not holding my breath for fear of surely dying of asphyxiation. Thank you, and I will see you next boss fight.